Yo, yo, what up, what up, what up, what up? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. Obviously Brandon Graham is gonna have his we should be having his I guess little press conference, not with the Eagles, but at least on his podcast at 9 o'clock, which is 9:01 now, so it's probably already starting at this point. We got a lot to discuss. I mean, obviously, this isn't breaking. We kind of knew this was happening a couple days ago. But now, is this going to be enough? Is this going to be enough for the Eagles? I don't know. I can't expect this to be so much to really get excited about, but I'm glad he is back. I'm glad Brandon Graham is officially back, and that's really all that matters. You know what I mean? But to get some things out of the way, obviously something to look forward to this week, Thursday Night Football between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chargers. Okay, this live stream sponsored by Prophet X. Obviously I'm looking at Justin Jefferson's receiving yards against a defense that really hasn't been playing great the last few weeks when it comes to the Chargers. And this should be an interesting one for me. 75.5 over. Taking the over there for Justin Jefferson, pretty easy. I think it'll be a pretty easy day. Even with Wentz as a quarterback, he'll get some of the shots that he needs in that game, which I think is great. Get up to $200 Profit X Cash with code SHAKES72, and stop betting against the house with Profit X. You're playing against real people, peer-to-peer sports predictions, the best lines in the game, and it's available in over 40 states. Profit X, play the game your way. I want to thank Prophet X for sponsoring this live stream. So, realistically, there's a lot of prospects from Miami I think you're going to be looking at too, because the news kind of came over yesterday on some of those players, and I think that's something to definitely look at, Let's say hi to everybody in the chat. What's going on, guys? Hope everyone's doing well. We're just here to shoot the shit, chill out. Ethan, what's going on, buddy? House Cat, what's going on? Jedi Master Kenobi, what's going on, buddy? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Charlie Boy says he's going to give us some good minutes, I guaranteed. Yeah, I think he will. I think he will. In the rotation, I think he's going to do well. It's going to be a booster for our attitude, a booster for a lot of things defensively. Bradley Chubb, I guess. I don't know. We don't even know if there's really another move at edge rusher. You're hoping so. If the Eagles feel like this is going to be the move, it's not enough. It's definitely not enough. I think we all know this. Chelsea Joey, he'd do better than Smith. Look, I'm hoping that when Nolan Smith is eligible to come back next week, he put it on his Instagram. Nolan Smith is eligible. I hope it makes the young guys better. I was happy for Jalix Hunt for getting that pick 6 the other day, but realistically, he hasn't done shit. He hasn't done anything, guys. That's just the truth, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So obviously I can't play the stream. Okay, so the Eagles just posted BG is back. Let me see if I can actually put this up for everybody to see. I don't know why it's not showing up. For some reason, it is not. But BG is back. Fans are very happy. Okay. So it says Brandon Graham on the BG Unblocked podcast on PHLY says, I'm coming back, baby. No expectations. I'm excited just to get after it. Of course, I believe in the team. That's a big part of it, too. I think they got everything need. Just want to add more value. Okay. Obviously, the contract's not going to be a big one. It's going to be a veteran minimum contract, which is not much. This is a morale booster for Fangio's defense. Him being on the field, I think, is a booster for, everybody. I think between his attitude, his personality, and the trash talking that he does, I think everybody just loves him for that. I think we all know this. You know, so it's good. It's good for a lot of things, you know? Good for a lot of things. Let's see. Scott says, still need an edge. BG will hopefully sure up outside to contain on runs. I'm trying to put this fucking thing up on here so I could show you guys what's going on, because it's kind of annoying. So Brandon Graham says that he really didn't want to retire in the beginning. It was kind of tough. Howie Roseman reached out as the start of the season, but he wasn't ready at the time. But Graham felt like he had some more juice left and continued to work out. So I know from what it's been said is he's been working out for at least over a month. He's been working out for a while. You know. I'm trying to pull this up, and it's not pulling up. There it is. Think? No. All right, maybe I got to do a new window capture because I don't know why this isn't pulling up. I kind of want to show this. Give me a second, guys. 2 seconds. Okay. So here it is. Let me move myself a little bit. This way I'm gonna be in the most random spot, but I just want to kind of put that in here so we're kind of looking at something while we're kind of looking at stuff, obviously. So Graham is back. We got a super chat first of the day from Addison Hoover. What's going on, buddy? Thank you so much. Says, do you think we will trade for an edge or a corner? Yes. Flat out, yes. I mean, if this is their only move at the edge because they don't want to spend any draft capital, then I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be for a big player. Like, they need somewhat of a look, if they want to add another guy for rotational impact, that's fine. We need edge to be more productive. I think we know that. I think up the middle we're okay. Like I just loved how Jalen Carter was getting in the backfield. Carter looked like he was good. I mean, Carter looked really good. He looked back to his original form that he was at, which is great. Can't really complain about that too much. So I really did like that he was kind of on top of his game. We're not trading for any high profile type guys that are owed a lot of money on new contracts. So if anybody's talking about Max Crosby, it's not happening. No one's trading for a guy. We're not trading for a guy like that. It's definitely not happening. You have contracts to pay the next few years, and there's no way they're going to bring in a guy that's going to cut in front of everybody on top of all the contracts you got to pay between Jalen Carter. Obviously, Nakobe Dean's playing really well, and I think he'll play even better. I thought he looked really good in the last game that we just played, which is awesome. Nolan Smith's got to come back and really show out because I don't think he's getting any. He ain't getting no 30 plus, 40 plus $1 million contract. Reed Blankenship, he's a captain on this team, and Makuba's really got to sure up on wrapping up with some of his tackles. He's being a little bit of reckless where he wants to hit somebody like he wants to make the big hit without wrapping up, and he's done that a couple times, and we paid the price for it on some of these sideline tackles, these open space tackles when he's coming down. You have to think about Quinyon Mitchell in the future. You got to think about Reed Blankenship. You have to think about Cooper DeJean because DeJean doesn't have a fifth-year option. You know what I mean? So you got to think about these things going down the road on who you're signing right now. You can't sign anybody to big money, but they desperately need a CB2. You ain't doing. I don't care if they make the playoffs with what they have now. You ain't making shit. You ain't making a damn thing, okay? You get into the playoffs, you're getting fucking cooked. You're getting cooked. And obviously the offense showed out really well last game. I'm actually shocked, okay? I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. Now, they can't disappear for that long. They can't disappear after a first series for an entire fucking half, okay? they can't disappear from a game like that. Against a better quarterback and a better team, you're not going to survive in the way you're running that offense, okay? Yeah, I mean, you didn't convert a third down till the third quarter, middle to the end of the third quarter. So you got to be on your shit. You know, you got to be on your shit for it. Judges, so what do you think on the run game? Like, do you see it getting better? I don't think Cam Jurgens being out is not good. The offensive line has been a mess. I think there's been bad execution. There's been injuries. There's been guys at 60% health that they've got to get better. They've got to get better. They have to get healthy. That's number one. And they just have to play better, because I don't think the execution's been great at all. And obviously losing Cam Jurgens is gonna hurt, but I don't think the Eagles. I don't think scheme wise Patul knows how to run with Saquon Barkley. I don't think he knows how to use him right now. I really don't. Even if it's an outside pitch, it still ends up into an inside run. You know, they got to do more on that front. And I know Barkley on that last series was pretty fucking pissed off. I mean, he was pissed. You know, so we should try to go after J.C. Horn. I think J.C. Horn just signed a new contract, didn't he? Didn't J.C. Horn, I know he's got some injury issues too, but didn't J.C. Horn sign a contract not too long ago? Eagles unset. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, man? Long time no see, buddy. Hope you're doing good. I'd like to see us go for a corner like Denzel Ward or somebody of his stature for like a third or a fifth lock, the secondary down, and let our D-line eat, but that's just me. No, you have to fix CB2. I'm tired of it. Like, Quinyon Mitchell literally against Justin Jefferson, Quinyon Mitchell only gave up 10 yards. I think three catches for 10 yards against Jefferson. I mean, that's a pretty good fucking day, dude. But as soon as look, they can't, like, DeJean, I know that at times they put him at CB2, but they can't do that all year. I mean, thank God you have DeJean. That fucking touchdown in the end zone, or that was going to be a touchdown in the end zone by Justin Jefferson where he deflected that on him. That was, thank God. Thank God for that. You know what I mean? I know the Eagles have Jacorian Bennett as well, and he's hurt now, and I don't know when. I think he's realistically should be coming back next week or the week after. So, and I don't think the Eagles have faith in Jacorian Bennett at this point. Like, early in the season, I wanted Jacorian Bennett to play a full game, but now we're going to be getting to the middle of the season soon, and I don't know if there's any time for us to realistically test him out. I mean, I think they lost their chance, and with Jacorian Bennett now hurt, I think you completely lost the chance to at least see what he's got. So, you know what I mean? Margaret says, Ward for the Browns, Woolen from Seahawks, shit, even Jair Alexander and Asante Samuel Jr. could be options for CB2. Yeah, Asante Samuel Jr., we'll see what's going on with his checkups because of that neck shoulder surgery that he had back in April. Getting checked up on that. I don't know when he's going to be. I know he was supposed to be available in October, so maybe he is available. Woolen from the Seahawks. I mean, you're not going to get an immediate impact, but somebody better, at least somebody better, maybe somebody that's kind of trying to revive their career somewhere else. And Woolen would probably be that type of guy, even though he got beat out of his job by ex-Eagle cornerback Josh Jobe. Fucking damn it, you know. It sucks that DeJean is just so good inside, you know. And even he struggled, a little bit, but he shows up when it counts. You know what I mean? Yeah, Denzel Ward would be a good move. I have no issue with that. It's kind of crazy because Greg Newsome got traded to the Jags a few weeks ago, and we were all talking about a Greg Newsome trade. All of training camp because we practiced with the Browns. And you know what I mean? And it actually happened. Even Greg Newsome was kind of surprised that he got traded, which kind of sucks. Howie Roseman's got to give up something. Eagle says, doing good, bro. Get come back on YouTube and start streaming again. Just getting awesome, dude. I'm glad. I hope you come back. You guys haven't checked out Eagles Uncensored yet. Check out their channel and subscribe to them. Guys, I also don't understand why they don't try Gilmore or Samuel Jr. Did I miss? Make sure I don't. All right, make sure I didn't miss anything. Make sure. If I missed anything, let me know. I also don't understand why they don't try Gilmore or Samuel Jr. Yeah, Gilmore, I don't know, man. What is he, 34 years old? I don't know if they have interest. I mean, that's like your last. That's if you're not going to make a trade, that is like your. That is like your last chance to really get somebody. If he has anything left in the tank, realistically, you know. I just don't get how you don't upgrade this position yet. Like edge rusher, I think is important. I think it's very important, and getting Graham back is going to be a big one for us. And if Graham was really not contemplating on retirement, he felt like he was convinced or forced to retire when he really didn't want to. And I guess maybe Howie Roseman knew that. And then literally Howie Roseman has been keeping tabs with BG. This is before Zadarius Smith was signed. I mean, realistically, the Eagles could have had Zadarius Smith and Brandon Graham on this defensive line, but Zadarius Smith retired and said, fuck this. The Eagles just lost against the 1-4 Giants, and there's no fucking way, there's no way we're gonna continue like this. You know, maybe Zadarius Smith thought the Eagles were fucking fraudulent. You know what I mean? Maybe, but Asante Samuel also he says Asante Samuel Jr. could be nice. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard any updates. Just time him out. Just time him out. We got time for this shit. Time him out. Mods, time him out. Or I'll fucking time him out. I hate people who do that shit. Okay. Ward was given a $100 million extension in 2022. He's owed $30 million. $100 million extension in 22. He's owed $30 million over the next 2 years. If we trade for him, we'd have to renegotiate, so his cap would kill us. Yeah, and I don't think the Eagles want to get into a contract like that. I don't think they want to get into a contract like that and kind of deal with that. You know what I mean? Like if there's anybody like a cornerback, like I look, they're not going to get some top talent that's out there, but they have to get somebody that's better than what we have. I think anybody out there is better than what we have. You know. All right. Hold on, I'm jumping on my stream right now. Get that dude out of here. Weirdos. Got some weirdos in the chat. Here. Yeah, well, I mean, Woolen got beat. You know, he got beat out of his starting job, so. Here, hold on. Logan, let me make you a mod. Okay. I've been meaning to do that, Logan. Logan's one of the admins on my Discord. So. Guys, at this point, give the rookie Mac McWilliams a chance. Yeah, they could do that, but I don't even know if they have faith in him. He's barely even played, man. He's barely played. He said, I know you don't want to do a big contract, but I think Walker help us. He is a former Georgia Bulldog. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with him. I mean, wasn't he hurt? I thought he was hurt. I thought that was going on. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I know Travon Walker was hurt at some point. All right, let's see what else is going on here. I want to check this out. So, it looks like But Jeff Kerr says, my understanding was Brandon Graham wanted to return, even with Zadarius Smith on the roster, said it unblocked. His agent contacted Howie Roseman early in the season. We'll talk to BG Wednesday, but he's expected to be available on Sunday versus the Giants. So he's actually going to be eligible to play this week. That's big. That's really big. That's really big. Who are these losers? Who's this dude with the same account? Who are these losers? I don't get these idiots with multiple accounts. That's really good news. I mean, I didn't know if he was going to be eligible to play this week, or maybe I guess they're just going to throw him in there, pin his ears back, and let him rush. I mean, that's going to be the plan going into this week, probably. Oh, it should work, Logan. It should work. I don't know why it's not. Brandon Graham said he would return after the Super Bowl if the Eagles wanted him back. He didn't want to play for another team. The opportunity was since presented. This is the only time in your life you could do it, because after a while, nobody's calling. Yeah, I know. I don't know if teams were actually calling Brandon Graham so much, but it was nice to hear that, at least, you know. But this has been going on since the beginning of the season for him to come back. I mean, look. I mean, the Eagles have fucked up royally at edge rusher. I mean, look, when the Eagles, when Hassan Reddick left and all that bullshit happened, we didn't know what Nolan Smith was going to become, at least for that 24 season, and he played really well. Okay, then the Eagles signed Bryce Huff to a big contract, and for some reason, they just didn't know how to use him. I don't know why. I know he's hurt right now. He's got like 4 or 5 sacks on the year, but his rushes have looked really great. And, you know, he's looked good in San Francisco in a deep rotation. But to be the guy for the Eagles, I mean, he was a healthy scratch for the Super Bowl. Like, that was such a fucking waste, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Just weird. Just weird. But weird. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's really it. I mean, that's really it. I just look like it's a great move. Like, I know we're getting laughed at right now. Like, all the Eagles are so bad on the are so bad on the edge. They have to bring somebody that's, you know, they have to bring somebody back that's fucking retired to unretire, come back to the Eagles. You know, but BG's back though. That's all that matters. So I don't know. Look, the what, November 4th is the last day to the trade deadline. The last day. So I mean, they need to, like, they cannot, okay? Like, edge rusher is fine. Like, I'm hoping they add somebody else, but the CB2 spot, there is no fucking way. There's no fucking way they're going to survive this. They're going to survive even if they get into the playoffs. I don't think they're going to survive defensively with that position being the way it is. I mean, you don't even have a mid-tier player at that position. Like, you have below average player at that position between Ringo, between Adoree Jackson, and unfortunately you're gonna have to deal with it this week. So you're hoping that at least your defensive line is gonna bulk up a little bit and, you know, play well. You know, the Eagles need to whoop some ass this fucking Sunday. Okay, there's no, that ass beating that you fucking took last Thursday night. You know, not good. You know, the Eagles need to put their fucking feet put their foot on the Giants' necks and you know, make sure they're fucking gone, you know? Yeah, it's Kelly Green week this week. I keep forgetting, to be honest with you. I keep forgetting. It's Kelly Green. I believe everything will be fixed during our bye week, just like last year. Yeah, potentially. I'm hoping, you know. The offense looked way better. More under center, play action, crossers, slants. I mean, and then, you know, the problem that I have, and it's probably a little problem, is that I don't know, like, Patullo doesn't, if you haven't checked out my video from this morning, definitely go check it out. The problem I'm having is that the players have to tell Patullo when to pull the trigger on a big play, like the Devontae Smith touchdown. You know what I mean? That's the problem I'm kind of having, is that the players have to like tell Patullo, we got to call this play. We have to throw it deep to Smitty, or they have to help him with that. Like, I feel like Patullo's not getting credit for anything because every time Hurts changes the play, I think the Giants game, the Saquon Barkley, the passing touchdown, whatever it was, I think that was on Jalen Hurts, changing the play and doing that himself. Like the Smitty touchdown, like apparently Devontae Smith was yelling on the sideline. He was kind of waiting for that play to happen, and they finally did it and they scored on it. Thank God, that's the issue I'm having, that players are they got a leash on Patullo a little bit to where he calls plays in certain spots. We do play Kelly Green. I like Dart Kid, got a bright future. Yeah, he does. He does. I mean, finally. Finally, now it's really up to, can Dayball really keep his job? I mean, any fucking coach that gives up 32 fucking points within 6 minutes, it's really bad. I mean, after the Broncos had the late hit on Dart and then that PI call, which was complete fucking bullshit, and Dart almost threw like two picks in double coverage on that fucking series, got up to the goal line, scored, okay, kicked the extra point, whatever, that kicker just totally fucked up. And then the Broncos went down and fucking did their thing and came back. Didn't think that was going to happen at all. I mean, that's a big fucking choke. That's probably one of the biggest chokes in history, I got to say. Eric said, Joey just got in the chat. Do you think they're cooking up something more, or is if this is it, they're screwed. If this is it, they're done with. There's no fucking way that this is the only move. Like, there's no way that adding an edge rusher and Brandon Graham is going to fix everything. It's definitely not. If you think that Graham's going to come in and look, trust me, I hope he can get like 8 sacks this year, but I don't think it's going to happen. I hope. But as a rotational guy, he's going to talk a lot of shit, bring up the morale to this defense, and maybe it's going to make Jalix Hunt play better. Maybe when Nolan Smith comes back, he'll play better. I don't know. So we'll see. I tried to get a Kelly Green BG jersey, like sold out today. He's gonna be coming back to the link this Sunday, bro. It's gonna be a big. The crowd's gonna go wild this week. Oh, Slay's definitely not coming. I mean, the Steelers are playing okay right now. I don't see them being big sellers at the trade deadline at all. He goes on and said, I agree, Joey. 6 of our first defensive games were against playoff teams. We're going to see those guys again with the struggles we already had in the regular season. We need a CB2 if we're going to win. They desperately need a CB2. 100% need a CB2. It's fucking needed. Then he says, yeah, CB2 and I really didn't think that Q was out there on that hamstring. I think that's why he looked a little rough. It's the hardest position. I really wish Howie knew how to do his job after the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's not even. I just felt like they were very passive. Like I feel like they're building towards 26 and 27. And I felt like he took like the fucking offseason off. Like all he cared about was saving money, which Chauncey, they saved $6 million next year, $13.8 million the year after that. Saving money. You didn't do nothing with CB2. You let Chauncey walk, and then you made safety a fucking need in the draft, which you probably could have drafted Will Johnson. You could have done a little bit better. The draft is not looking great. Jahad Campbell is really the only one from this draft that's looking anywhere fucking decent. So this offseason was a big fucking drop-off in the last few years. I think it's a huge drop-off. Brandon Graham will make a difference on the rotation, and he'll give you some pressure, but I think that's really it. I don't think it changes what you do. I mean, look, he comes back and he starts balling out at 38 years old, and he's been working out since the beginning of the season, ready to come back to the Eagles. It's not like he's they brought him back, and he's starting to work out like last week. Like, he's been ready to come back, you know? Now, it says, kind of feels like the Eagles are banking on Bennett and Jackson for CB2 rotation. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Like, Bennett, I feel like it's too late. You had your chance like the last few weeks. I understand he got hurt, but before that, you had a chance to put Bennett in for a first game. But he's favored Ringo, and he's favored Adoree Jackson over Bennett. You've had your chance to start Bennett for an entire game. You trade for him, wasted trade. You trade for Tank Bigsby, wasted fucking trade, giving away 2 fucking late picks. I think they wasted a lot of draft capital on guys. The trades have looked horrible. Your draft looks horrible. And yeah, not looking too good. Not looking too good. Trust me, I wish they could bring Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back. But obviously they really don't like Chauncey at all. They really don't. Diamond's Kenobi said, I know Toth isn't great, especially in shotgun formation, so they play under center because Toth plays better doing that, which was a blessing in disguise since Jalen plays better under center. Yeah, true. And the offense was more fluid, man. Toth can't snap a ball. I mean, Toth is probably better off playing center than he is guard, honestly. Moving Dickerson to center, I don't think is going to fix anything. I think Toth is a bigger liability at guard than he is center, which is kind of weird to say. I think Toth being at center hurts the run game, but I think it actually helps the passing game because I think that Toth actually, I think he settled down a little bit in that game, a little bit. You know? Eagles says there, understand that we need to see what these young guys have for moving forward, but an extent of our Super Bowl winning team, terrible time to try and see what we have when we're trying to repeat. I know. It's tough to repeat because you're losing fucking guys. You can't pay everybody. You know, if they won a Super Bowl with some guys still left on the roster that weren't going to get paid for another year, then, you know, it just really depends on the contracts, where those contracts end and where they need new contracts. And when you can't pay guys going to a repeated year, it sucks. You know what I mean? Like, look at Isaiah Rodgers. We've been praising him and you know, but look how he looked against our guys. I mean, he looked horrible. You know what I mean? Not saying that he probably would have played better. Rodgers would have played better, you know, than Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo. But at the same time, you know, look, you know, this is what our wide receiver 1A, wide receiver 1B, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith are fucking stone cold killers out there. You know? Jay says you don't think by can help with CJ Brady. I don't think they want Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Do you see right now that nobody is signing him? Why is nobody signing him? Nobody wants to deal with him. Nobody wants to deal with him. No team that's winning right now, that has a good record, even wants to bring him in, not even to the practice squad. Nobody wants to deal with him right now. Period. There's a reason for that. Until I understand that reason, I do want him back. But there's got to be a reason behind all of that. There's got to be a reason. What's going on, Rock? Nate says, best part is a veteran out there guiding these are first, second year guys. Don't get me started on the third year guys. Yeah, and that's a problem, bro. It's a problem. The Eagles had the weakest free agency. You know, I'm not expecting them to sign a bunch of guys to big money this past offseason. They had a weak free agency. They had a fucking weak fucking draft that it's looking like right now. Mac McWilliams just doesn't get enough playing time. Munden is just too raw, and he's just going to be a special teamer at this point. Mac McWilliams, you know, it's just, you know, some of these guys just not getting enough opportunity. Ty Robinson is too raw right now. I thought at the end of that Giants game, Ty Robinson didn't do a bad job. He got a couple good pressures in that game, but he's still very raw. They're not going to give up on him. The center that we ended up drafting, you know, I thought he was the backup center. I thought he was the backup center, but I don't know why they like Toth. I think they like Toth more because of experience. It's just experience, starting experience on the field with the guys. I mean, I just think they like him better just for that, most likely, probably. You know what I mean? So, we'll see. Nifty with the super chat, man. Thank you so much for that. He says, there were times when Toth did okay at center. Honestly, not as impressed with Jurgens this year either. The big loss was Becton. Steen, not a run blocker. Yeah. I don't think Steen has been bad. There are times where he looks good, and there are times where he looks good in pass protection. As a run blocker, he has struggled this year. And I don't think Jurgens was even ready to play this year. I mean, he had the back surgery, and now he has a knee injury. Have we even found out any news? I mean, I'm trying to find out some news right now if there's any news on this knee injury from this MRI. I don't know if we've seen anything yet, but I don't see any news on I don't see any news today on him at all. And that really sucks. Because if he's out, I mean, you got to sit him. I mean, regardless, you got to sit him till after the bye. The guy can literally rest for probably 3 weeks. Probably about 3 weeks. I mean, but we'll see. See how it goes. We will see how it goes, my friend. We got a super chat from Nifty again. Thank you so much, buddy. You got to see how next year looks. Might not be a good time to be signing big contracts or giving up draft picks when you got to see how next year is looking. Realistically, I didn't want to make a trade at the trade deadline because I want to make sure this offense is on track. Like, I don't think this game against the Vikings is really promising us that the offense is okay. We're fine now. Nothing to worry about. Schematically, I think there's an issue. I think the route tree is all fucked up. I think there's still issues in the passing game. The Eagles played way better. Okay, and honestly, we should be. I know people are going to say, "Well, be grateful because Jalen Hurts is the third or fourth Eagle in history to have a perfect passer rating." Okay, I get that. That's huge. That's big in a lot of ways. The problem I'm having is the consistency. Is it going to be there? The Eagles give up a day 2 pick, like a high day 2 pick for a fucking corner or something like that, and then this offense just hits, just plays like shit yet again. Like, you can't have a good first series and then your offense fucking disappears. Okay, your offense disappears until the second half. I mean, seriously, they're still playing a half of bad football. Besides one series, they played a half of bad football. That's a big problem for me. It's a big problem. Still a big problem, in my opinion. Eagles says, I'm sorry I love CJ, but the last thing this team needs right now is someone to come in and be a cancer in the locker room. Not saying CJ is, but I also know CJ is a me player, and we can't afford that. Yeah, I mean, I look, there's reasons why he's not back. And there's reasons why he goes to the Texans. They even last 4 fucking weeks. 3-4 weeks. Then he gets released. Then he goes to he got signed to the Ravens practice squad. Then the Ravens traded for a fucking safety. And then they released him again. I mean, there's a reason for this shit. There's a reason for it. It just sucks, dude, because it's like the Eagles are the only team that could deal with Chauncey. Like, if I was, look, even if he's not really a me player or per se a me player, okay, I don't think the players have any issue with Chauncey. I think it's just the coaching staff that has an issue with him. I don't think there's any dislike. I don't think he's disliked between the players or anything like that. I think there's just something more that went on or something that happened. Neil Shaw said, I wish we traded for a guy. I love BG, but he was on the couch for 7 months. He'll have to get his ass back in. Well, no, he is back in shape. He's fine. Like, is he in game shape? Probably not, but he has been working out since the beginning of the season. He has been working out. It's not like they told him to come back and he's getting off the couch and he hasn't done shit the last couple months. No, he's been working out the last month and a half. That's the news right now. He has been working out. And Howie has been wanting him to come back since the beginning of the season. So this isn't just because Za'Darius Smith is gone. This is because he was going to be here when Za'Darius Smith was here. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Logan said, Joe, do you think Barkley will run over the NFL again for this season? I don't know. I really don't. I don't believe in no Madden curse because I don't play Madden. I can't fucking stand that game for a passion that I have for it. But it's a bad year. I mean, did you see Saquon Barkley on that last fucking series where he just like took his he was pissed. You know, in game he's gonna be pissed if he can't get these runs. He's running into a fucking brick wall every single time. But then, like after the game, he's perfectly fine. You know, even if Barkley's not being when Barkley's not even productive in these. So the only time he was really productive was like the first 4 runs he had beginning of the game for that, that touchdown that he almost had. Okay. That was, that's when he looked good. And then really since then, he's more of a decoy now than anything. But they have to get him going. You got no run game, you're still not surviving. You have no CB2, you're not surviving. You're not going to survive. Easy One says, would Eagles trade for a safety like Minka Fitzpatrick or Grant Delpit or someone come in, be a third safety because we haven't seen Marcus Epps. We can't trust Sidney Brown. I don't think the Eagles are making moves at safety. I don't think that's their prime. I think there's some players that have been off because the pass rush. I think safeties are going to be hurting because either they're not tackling well, the defensive line's not getting pressure, or there's not really good coverage by these cornerbacks. I think that's when safeties really start to play bad, when everything else is not working out defensively. I don't think they're looking to make a move at safety. I really don't. Like Makuba, I'm still on and off about him. Realistically, I think his coverage has looked a little bit better, but his open field tackling has been reckless, where I feel like he's really trying to get the big hit more than wrapping up and being technical with his tackling. He's been more reckless like that. I'm not worried about Sidney Brown really getting reps within this defense too much. So I don't like, safety isn't a big need here. It's not. I think the safeties will play better once our defensive line is a little bit more capable, and we only sacked Wentz twice, and look, that's good. I'm like, if you don't sack Wentz in this game, just a couple, like I said, at least 4 sacks, but they got him for 2 sacks. Uche got his first sack, thank fucking God. And Ojomo got a sack, I think, which is his 3rd or 4th of the season. So he's not really having a bad. Ojomo's not having a bad year as a rotational guy. Hold on, I gotta put my pop-out chat back because it just crashed for some weird reason. I don't know why. Let me put that in again. We're good to go. Okay, we're back. We'll see. Nifty with a super chat says DeJean may need more outside work. Adoree is bad. Yeah, I mean the problem is they can't afford to put DeJean on the outside for an entire game. That's what Fangio cannot afford to put. See, in specific situations like defensive, when we're backed up into our fucking end zone and they put him on Justin Jefferson for that snap. If Ringo or Adoree Jackson on Justin Jefferson on that fucking pass, it's a touchdown. But they got to figure out who else to put in there, because it's really not working out. Not working out at all. Nifty with another super chat says, if CB2 was good, our safeties would blow coverage. It wouldn't blow coverage. Yeah, that's 100%. Like there's so much that goes to that safety spot where they look like shit at times, because there's either a lot of other things aren't working out in front of them, and I think that's been the case for a while. I think they would play a little bit better, Nate says Makuba out of position a lot for a little coverage, safety, that and the tackling, but he's only okay at his strength. Seems like he's confused on his assignments. I think there's been some back end communication issues, like even the one that, remember the Jordan Addison catch on the right sideline, and it looked like Quinyon Mitchell got burned on that. I think he thought a safety was behind him or something, because Makuba just let him. Quinyon Mitchell kind of let Jordan Addison run right by him. So I don't know what happened on that play. I think that was a blown coverage there. But I mean, on Justin Jefferson, only giving up 3 catches for 10 yards. It's a pretty good fucking day. It's a pretty good day. Unfortunately, the other guy is going to get fucking torched, unfortunately. And And, Carson Wentz, we kind of know his blueprint where when he's in the pocket, take away his first read and you potentially can get a sack right there where he starts to, you got to rattle him a little bit. I thought they rattled him. I thought he got comfortable in the second half a little bit, but they came back with some pressures. So I think they did the right thing. I think they played okay. They did fine defensively. The defense kept them in the game. This is the sixth game. The defense has kept this offense in the game. Because in that first half, after that first series, the defense had as many points as the fucking offense. The offense had as many points as the defense. I mean, that's just the truth. You had the pick six by Jalix Hunt. You had the bad pass on the extension play by Carson Wentz to the right side where he threw it running right, and it was underthrown like crazy, and Makuba got that pick. So I think they benefited off of that just a little bit, sure. I really don't want to say this, but this year, Barkley reminds me of the year we got DeMarco Murray from Dallas after we ran almost 400 times. His career was over after that. I mean, I don't think not really. I don't compare DeMarco Murray to Saquon Barkley at all. I think Barkley not only is not getting the runs that he needs because of execution from this offensive coordinator, and you have injuries up front, that's hurting us the most when it comes to Barkley. And I think right guard has been somewhat of a little bit of an issue, but I think his pass protection, Barkley picking up some of these blitzes haven't been really good either. I think some of his picking up some of these blitzes on some of his pass protection, and that's been one of the biggest things when he played for the Giants. That was obviously, as a running back, as a 3-down back, if you could pass protect as well, you got a ton of value. And I think this year there's been a little bit of a drop off in his protection. I wouldn't say it's DeMarco Murray-esque because I think there's a lot of other factors. This isn't a talent standpoint with Saquon Barkley. This has everything to do with an offensive coordinator standpoint, an execution standpoint, an injury standpoint up front. We haven't been this hurt, okay? We haven't been this hurt on the offensive line in a while, and the depth behind it is fucking bad. It's bad. You know what I mean? It's not good. It's not good. So, Kenny said, would definitely target Denzel Ward. We were about to make a move for Parsons that would have cost a ton of picks and money. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't get, like, if they were going to go after if that news was true and they were going to go after Parsons and give away that much for him, maybe that's the only type of player they kind of want. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Because of how shaky this fucking offense is right now, to not know if the offense is going to do so well this year, even off of a statement game like they just made against the Vikings, and then hopefully close out with a win against the Giants. I don't know if the Eagles feel the same way of giving up that much for a player anymore like they did in Parsons. I don't know if they're really into that, as much, but I guess we'll find out. We'll see. But Nifty with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. By the way, if you watch film, Chauncey was out of position a lot. He brought tenacity and aggression to the defense, but if there's no pass rush, Chauncey's a liability. Yeah, I think anybody's really a liability back there if you don't have a pass rush and your CB2, your CB1 is struggling. Okay? I think that, if the linebackers can't tackle open field, they miss tackles, and it's up to the safety in this wide open space downfield. You're the last guy of defense to really make a tackle before a big score on a run or a wide receiver in open space or something like that. I think it definitely hurts, no doubt. No doubt. I don't think Chauncey was perfect either. Like, I don't think anybody really was perfect at safety even last year. I think we made mistakes. I think it's happened, but it is what it is. Guy says, is it true? Our offense needs to figure it out. Watching the Lions offense play is great. I know. It's distribution. They run the ball with a nice balance. The offensive line, their offensive line's pretty fucking healthy, but defensively they got some key injuries. But they're still, respectfully, they're still good. Coming off that bye week, you take care of business against the Giants this week, okay? Okay, the Giants are coming off a fucking embarrassing loss, and the Eagles need to punch them in the fucking mouth. Like that they need to get punched in the fucking mouth. at the link. There's no fucking way you're letting that team walk into the link and fucking play like you did that Thursday night game. Put their foot on their fucking necks and don't step off. That's how they got to do it. Kenny says, would definitely target Denzel Ward. We were about to make a move for Parsons. That would have cost a ton of picks and money. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, I don't think, look, like, I don't think that means, like, and the Parsons thing happened a while ago. Okay, a lot of time has passed. A lot of football has passed. A lot of games have been played. And, you know, teams do change their tune when they try to make trades for specific guys. And, you know, I don't know if the Eagles, you know, I don't, for me, it makes me nervous for them to give up. If they get a mid-tier guy, I have no issue with it. If they try to get like a top prospect and trade for him and try to figure out the contract, extend him to lower the cap hits, however they want to do it, adding the void years or whatever they want to do to the contract, it makes me nervous because I just don't know if the Eagles are really into making a big trade like that because of how shaky this fucking offense is. The last thing they need is to grab, you know, your defense plays well because you grabbed, like, say you grab a Denzel Ward and you're playing fantastic defensively and your offense just looks like shit the rest of the year and just say you don't make the playoffs. What a wasted year that's going to be. It's going to be a wasted year. And you give up draft capital for a rental for a year, a rental for a couple years. I don't know. For an open window, a Super Bowl window like you have right now, for Howie Roseman's passive fucking offseason, to now we're paying the price for having a brand new coordinator in the building. And I don't think we're fixed yet offensively. I mean, say what you want, but, you know, I want to see it again. I want to see that shit again. The run game has got to be existent. You know, they got to get Barkley going somehow. They got to get Barkley. So I don't know what's going on. Is Barkley giving away what he's doing? The way they line Barkley up, are they giving away what they're doing? Because obviously they know what's happening. Obviously, before the handoff even happens, there's fucking two defenders sitting there. There's two defenders sitting there waiting for fucking Barkley half the damn time. Or Barkley's going to run into a fucking wall as usual. So what is giving away this? Look, I know the Giants game, I don't know what happened in the Vikings game. I know in the Giants game, they ran from two formations. Two. They ran from only two formations. The Vikings game, I'm not really sure. It worked in the beginning. He ran like 4 straight times, I remember, in like the first series, that it actually worked. And you know what I mean? And every time Barkley has like over a 7-8 yard run, it's a flag. And we get called for holding. It's 100% an offensive line and a schematic issue from, it's a scheme issue, a schematic issue from Kevin Patullo. You know what I mean? Nifty said Eagles fans act like CJ was Ed Reed. Yeah, but you know, how many Super Bowls have you been to with Chauncey? You've been to 2. You've been to 2 Super Bowls with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And you were at least stable at that fucking position. You know what I mean? So he's loved for a lot of reasons. He's loved because of his emotion. He's loved because he plays his ass off, you know? And if the Eagles have to deal with a little bit of a fucking personality issue with him, I don't even give a shit. But obviously there's a lot more on the table when it comes to this Chauncey Gardner-Johnson situation. There's a lot more that's going on with this Chauncey Gardner-Johnson situation we have no idea about. So, until I know the answer to that, look, if we find out some really bad news, I say, oh shit, well, that's why they got rid of him. No, yeah, I don't want him on the team. Trust me, I might change my fucking tune once I hear the news. I might change the tune just a little bit, you know? Nifty with the super chat, what's going on, buddy? He said, I'd run Barkley behind Malata and Dickerson with a fullback. Steen does good pass blocking, but gets no push to the run game. Also, stop running on stacked box. Yeah, they're running on a stacked box. I've seen them put the fullback in there, but the run game still doesn't work. I don't know. Creativity is a big issue when it comes to the schematics of this offense, including the run game. You know, and that's been a problem. So I feel like we're just wasting Barkley away this year. I feel like he's just not getting anywhere. He's a decoy in the backfield, and that's as far as it really goes, you know? So we'll see. We will see. Because I also think Ward restructured his contract. We have the Super Bowl window. You have to take the chance. Yeah, you might have to. You might have to. I honestly I don't think they have to get a guy like Ward. I think they need to get a guy that's just better as a mid-tier type guy. I don't think they need to get a number one guy off another team. But I feel like edge rusher is more important, even though like I said, you're going to go after a CB2. They have to sign a CB2, but you can't get two immediate big impacts at edge and CB2. I think it's one or the other. Get another rotational guy, whether it's Bradley Chubb or whoever, Bradley Chubb, the guy from the Patriots. What's his fucking name that went to Miami? He's 32 years old, but it's another edge rusher. I keep forgetting his damn name. I just talked about him a while ago. Forgot his damn name though. I don't know why his name is. Somebody let me know, because I totally forgot. The Patriots edge rusher that went to Miami. What the fuck's his name? Well, he went to the Falcons last year. He played for Miami this year. He's older, but he probably won't be expensive. Oh, Matthew Judon. There you go. Matthew Judon. Yeah. Thank you, EC. Matthew Judon and Bradley Chubb are there. So, Bradley Chubb's got 4 sacks on the year. He's relatively healthy, which is good. That's really been his biggest issue. Really, when he was with Denver, was his health, and and we'll see. Logan says CJ bring attitude in the locker room. It's true. Guys, I want to blame Patul for run game, but Stalin has been a run game coordinator. He has enough pull to change things. I don't even know what he does, dude. I don't know. Stalin's been here with success, so how is it all of a sudden bad? How is it that bad? You know what I mean? I don't know if it's 100% on Stalin, to be honest with you. Kevin Patul was the passing game coordinator, and this motherfucker can't even draw up a fucking play to get guys open. You know what I mean? What is there to believe right now? What is there to believe? I can believe that Patul was a passing game coordinator, like I said, the last few years, but fucking Christ, he doesn't know how to use these fucking receivers. He's been around these two receivers the last few years, and he still couldn't fucking draw up plays to get them open. So what makes me think that Jeff Stalin has all this fucking pull as a run game coordinator? Even though he's labeled as that, is he actually really controlling the run game? I don't know. No, they're not getting sauce. You guys gotta get realistic, bro. They're not trading for a number one guy from another team. They're not trading for fucking sauce. They're not gonna trade for Crosby. They're not making a move like that. I'll be shocked if they do, but I don't think so. I don't think so. It's not as easy as everyone thinks. You guys have to realize, they got so many contracts. They have contracts the next few years they have to pay. They have guys they have to lock up. So signing a fucking guy that's going to cost a shit ton of money as a sacrifice type trade, I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know. Unless they just do it, but I don't see it happening, Would I love that? Sure. Who doesn't like the big move at a position? That would be fucking great, but I just don't think, it's going to happen. That's all. Nifty with Super Chest is 1 year of film on Barkley. That's what changed. Yeah. Yeah. And the Eagles haven't, and because of your execution, because of the injuries up front and everything else, I don't know, even with some injuries up front, you don't even. There's a lot of teams around the league that have injuries to their offensive line, and they still could they could still run the ball. At some point, there's teams out there that have an injury or two, or have had injuries on the offensive line, and they could still run the fucking ball. So either Pachulo is looking, Barkley is obviously looking, I don't know, they're taking something from these games that Barkley, they know what Barkley's doing almost every fucking time. Every move that he makes, these defenses know what's happening. And if you're looking that predictable in the run game, it's a problem. You know what I mean? Tyler says we need Chauncey out there. At least QB will be scared that there will be a ball hawk out there willing to jump the route. And that's what I like about Chauncey. He is a ball hawk, you know, and that's why you have a guy like you draft a guy like Makuba because he's got that capability to do the same thing. He's just a little bit lighter on his feet. He's a little bit faster, but you know, he's a rookie like as a second round pick, like you know, I'm hoping by the end of the year he will be in full effect. Will be looking so much better. This defensive line hopefully will get more pressure. Will look a little bit better. So we'll see. I think a big positive for this defense so far is Nakobe Dean. You know, what I mean, like obviously a couple plays where he didn't play. I mean, for a first game back, I thought Nakobe Dean was great. I was fucking great. I'm surprised he actually had the amount of snaps that he had last game, but I thought he played really good. Now, Jahad Campbell has been from some of the grades. He's on the outside of the circle in a good way from other linebackers. He's matched up compared to Fred Warner in a lot of ways. His coverage has been probably one of the best coverage. He's been one of the best coverage linebackers the last like 150 snaps. Like really good. Like Campbell's been good. Now you have Campbell on the edge, and he didn't do much of anything on the edge, unfortunately, and that's been a problem. Okay, like getting Nakobe Dean back is great, but now your first round pick is just out of position right now because he's not used to playing edge. And I don't know, it's hard to have Nakobe on the field right now because, you know, Jahad Campbell needs to play. He needs to be productive, put somewhere. I don't know. We'll probably hear from Fangio this week on Campbell and what they might do with him. He won't give us the answer on that, but we need some production out of Campbell. It's not his fault. You know, you're getting put at the edge, which he hasn't played. He hasn't played that position all year, you know. So I guess we're going to find out. I guess we're going to see. Scott, it just comes down to this the Sirianni scheme. It's an every other year thing after we lose a good coordinator, and this is going to be the Eagles under him. Yeah, it fucking sucks, dude. Like the number one thing is like I hope Patullo works out, and I hope we just had this rough fucking stretch with him, and then he comes out of that bye week and looks as normal as possible. Looks fucking amazing. That's what I'm hoping for. But if this shit continues the way it is, okay, if they can't even look as productive as they did in that second half of that Vikings game, and we're talking about a fucking half, besides a productive first series in that first half, it's gonna be a problem. And Nick Sirianni needs to be stripped of the power of, sorry, but stop hiring your best friends. Stop hiring your buddy. Okay, they got to hire an experienced guy next year. They have to go outside the organization and hire somebody that's brand new because you're not surviving like this. I'm sorry, but you can't be. This hiring process fucking sucks. Okay. You said CJ isn't important as we think. Kind of got upset with me when I said would trade Sidney Brown to Houston over trade CJ. Was right about Sidney that he is a liability. The problem is I just wanted him to play and see what he could do. Back then, week 3, week 4, early in the season, I said, give Sidney Brown a shot because he hasn't played in this Vic Fangio defense. Before this year, he never played for Vic Fangio. He never did. Never played in this defense at all. Okay? So I want to give him a shot, but he looked horrible, and now I don't want to give him a shot. Now I don't think he deserves a starting spot. He definitely doesn't deserve a starting spot. So I always want to give players opportunity, and I don't think Fangio is afraid to give players opportunity to start specific guys. Like early in the season, yeah, I wanted Sidney Brown. I want to put him there and see what he could do. But he doesn't look great, so now I don't want him there. That's where I'm at. So I don't think trading him is going to fucking do anything. I don't think he has much value anyway. I think he has somewhat of a value on special teams when, you know, he's a hard hitter. He goes down there. Sometimes he misses tackles on kickoff, but I mean, he does make plays at times too on special teams. So I don't think he's a non-value for special teams, but as a starting safety in the league, fuck no, definitely not. Nifty 350 with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. Says Arrogance run game was so good last year. Why change? Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to change what you do too. You have to change what you do. I just don't get why it's this bad as it is. So I don't know why it's this bad. I wish I had the answer why it's this bad. Either it's Patullo, which I think over 50% of it is Patullo. It doesn't know how to use Barkley on some of the schematics of formations and how to use him and how to keep the defense on its heels and using the run at the right time, the wrong time. And I think part of it is the offensive line's execution hasn't been great. And I think the injuries have affected us too. I think it's definitely affected us. And I think partly too, I think Barkley's predictable. I think they know when he's going to have the ball. Whether they look at Barkley's fucking how he's lined up. There was a bunch of videos that came out like a week or two ago on Barkley, you know, when he lines up a specific way where he looks a certain way on the field. That's when defenses can tell where he's running and if it is a run. I mean, that's pretty fucking sad that people can actually figure that shit out. But I hope that's not the case, you know. Roger, I feel like OC should be up in the box so they could see the entire field in defense. Yeah, I mean, he's probably better up there, but I think part of it, too, is he likes to be in these conversations with Hurts on the sideline. I think that's where he's always liked to – that's where he's always been, and that's where I feel like that's why he wants to stay there, because then he has a close connection with his quarterback. He could talk to his quarterback one-on-one, and, you know, they could fix things in person. No, he needs to be down there. Okay, I don't know if him being upstairs is even in the box is even going to fucking help at this point. I don't think so. You know. What's going on, Dave? Hope you're having a good day, buddy. Easy says, trade him to Bengals for safety who's in Alabama. Jordan Battle. He can play with his brother. Yeah. His brother. We unfortunately, the Bengals got the better brother, unfortunately. Is our details out for the contract on BG? I just got to the next call. What's left for cap space? I don't even know what's on. I don't know the cap space at all. I don't even know. Me, I have no idea. I have to check on cap space. I don't know. I could check right now just to see. I'm trying to see what the cap space is for the Eagles right now. I don't know. Certain sites have different numbers and things aren't updated. $12 million, 12.1 from what it looks like. 12.1 mil. I guess that's what it says on Over the Cap, but this could be wrong too. 12.1 million. I guess I don't know if that's too low. I'm not really sure. So I don't know with Zadarius Smith getting out of his contract. I don't know what happened there with him. But it looks like it's $12.1 million as from what it looks like. Trying to find if the contract has been released. I don't think the contract has been released for the Eagles for this signing yet of Brandon Graham. It's going to be a veteran minimum deal. Maybe they'll pay him a little bit more on a 1 year. Probably not going to be anything crazy. It's obviously going to be within like $8-9 million probably. It's going to be a nice little chunk, but I don't think it's going to be anything detrimental. Like it's not going to be anything crazy. We will see, though. We will see. But it looks like Graham will be playing on Sunday, though, which is good. But we'll see. Because the Eagles run the same shit over and over and over. That's what I believe the main problem is. Yeah, well, that's true. That's definitely true. And the creativity on route concepts and when to run, when to pass, and I think there's a few things that are just wrong right now, unfortunately. You know. Yeah, I don't know. The Brandon Graham contract is not showing up. Probably will show up soon. I would think. And what I read was $12.1 million in cap space for the Eagles. That's pretty much what I read. That's it. Why can't his brother Magic not rub on his bad brother plays with us? We got wrong, brother. Maybe we need the Bengals have brother hug Sydney, have brother Luck rub on Sydney. Jesus Christ, I can't even read what the hell that says. Well, we definitely don't have the good brother, so that's for damn sure. Bald Eagle says it's kind of pathetic that we need to bring Graham back, but hey, it's better than nothing. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of against it, but I'm more open to it now. Like it's I think because of the story behind it that he's been trying to come back since the beginning of the season, that this was in play for a while, and Graham has been working out, so it's not like Graham's been sitting on his ass, not working out, not doing anything, and they're just like saying, "Hey, come back, please. We beg you. We'll pay you." I think I'm more open to it now. There's nothing wrong. There's really nothing wrong with it. I mean, look, it's a fresh body on our defensive line. I mean, Ojulari got fucking hurt. I don't know when he got hurt in the game, but now he's hurt now because he was he ended up on the injury report during the game against the Vikings. So now you lost him. Uche, I'm very upset about Uche because 2 years ago he had like 11 and a half sacks, something like that with the Patriots. He got traded to KC last year, middle of the season, and he was really a healthy scratch. So he's a natural edge rusher, but Uche, like, I'm actually kind of upset he hasn't really been doing much. He got his first sack, but Jalix Hunt, like, he almost had a sack on Wentz. He hit him last second before he made that pass to the left sideline on Neighbors, whatever his name is, on the left sideline. So, like, he had the pick six. He almost got to Wentz a couple times, so he looked okay. Just need to see a little bit more. And Nolan Smith, like, been very upset about Nolan Smith. You know what I mean? He's eligible to come back next week. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. What's up, Rich? Sounds right. It was 11.6 before Big Z retired. Okay, so all right. So maybe we're close between 11.6 to $12.1 million, something like that. Okay. I'll have a video on the cap space and all that stuff. If I do more research today, I'll have a video on that probably tomorrow. And obviously all the news has been coming out today, and some trade deadline candidates for tomorrow, things like that. So no different than when we signed Sue. Yeah, that's true. That is true. We signed Sue and we signed that other and Linval Joseph, whatever his name was. What, Linval Joseph? We needed them badly that year. Yeah, it worked out. I mean, I think those signings actually worked out. But it can't just be BG. Defensive line wise, they got to sign one more guy. They got to sign one more dude. If they don't, then it is what it is. We're going to have to roll with it. But if you don't sign another edge next to Brandon Graham, another guy, you have to go get a relatively good CB2. I'm sorry, but you have to pull the trigger on that. It's I say if we need to be jailed, the offense will take control of plays like last week. I think they are not going to let the Giants take the W. No, they cannot let the Giants. Yeah, I mean, I think Hurts needs more control. I think you need to take. I think they got the handcuffs on him. Honestly, I think they have the fucking handcuffs on him. That second half, those series that they had, man, play action under center, Hurts in the pocket, just man, he just looked so damn good. I mean, oh man, he looked great. Look fucking great, man. Devontae Smith is going to have his best season of his career this year. This year is Devontae Smith's season. Yeah, what do you have? Like, what, 800 yards receiving last year? Something like that? I mean, this year, this is Devontae Smith's year. What, his season high, 183 yards yesterday? What, Sunday? Good year. Devontae Smith, oof, man. Devontae Smith. Going to be interesting. Giants have been scoring a lot of points. You got to remember we still got Ringo and Jackson. No, I know that. They're huge liabilities this week. We got to get pressure. We had no pressure on Jackson Dart. We couldn't even defend him against the run. We couldn't do shit. We couldn't do a fucking thing. BG, we're gonna see if this is gonna make somewhat of a little bit of a difference. You can get some BG back into our lives this year. So I'm pretty happy about the signing. I'm not gonna lie, pretty happy about it. The Eagles are in good contention within the NFC in general, the conference. With the Tampa Bay Bucks losing the other night, they're pretty much tied for second place, I think, within the conference, which is good. So that loss from Tampa helped us out a lot. But we still got to take care of business. Got to beat the Giants, and then you have a bye week, and then you have to come off that and face back-to-back primetime games against Green Bay and obviously Detroit. And those are going to be two tough ones. Two really tough games. They said if Chauncey hadn't run his mouth as much as we would be here too, Fangio will not let Howie bring him back. I mean, I don't know whose decision. We don't know. We don't know shit about the situation, unfortunately. We don't know anything about the situation, but I'm hoping. I don't know. I mean, look, if CJ has been a free agent for how long, and he ain't coming back. At this point, I think the Eagles would have brought him back. Rock said we're wearing Kelly Green this week. I know. Kelly Green. You don't lose in Kelly Green. You don't lose. Amazing plays happened in Kelly Green. It's going to be a sea of Kelly Green. I'll be rocking my Devontae Smith Kelly Green jersey. I'll be excited. Ready to go. I cannot wait for the mic up shift talking from BG. That alone is worth the wait. Oh, no, it is. It's gold. Yeah, it's going to be worth it. No doubt. He's going to be, I'm back. It's like, I'm fucking back, baby. Who said, we need another cornerback. Addison was taking Ringo into school. He stinks. Thought it was better. No, dude. I already knew that. As soon as they moved Cooper DeJean out of CB2, that was it. You know what I mean? Like they started aiming like those sideline catches from Addison. They started aiming at Ringo. I mean, it sucks, dude. The fucking position sucks. I can't believe the Eagles are in this position at cornerback again. Yet again. Howie Roseman was like, you know what? I'm going to let, fuck signing Rodgers and trying to retain Slay for one more year. I'm just going to put all the pressure on a 4th-round pick in Keely Ringo and see what he could do, and then sign a Dory Jackson behind him, where Dory Jackson has never gotten a second contract from one fucking NFL team in his fucking career. This sucks, dude. This sucks. Maybe it takes 2 years. Maybe it takes until next year to get back into the game. I don't know. We're still in the middle of the season. The Eagles are 5-2. The Eagles are sitting nice right now, but they could win against the Giants, come off that bye week, and then realistically, and then if they beat the Packers and Detroit on back-to-back primetime games, they're going to be. Then I'm expecting this offense is going to look good after the bye week. If they're beaten, that's what I'm going to really expect. So we'll see how it goes. EC says I bought a Galaxy S23. I'm trying to figure typing. No, you're good. I get it. New phone. I get it. That's why I get iPhone. I used to hate iPhones. Back. I used to be a Galaxy guy. Back in the day. I used to be a Samsung Galaxy guy, and then I switched to an iPhone, which I was against for so many years. And I've never left. Dave said Rodgers is stand-up pregame. He was doing selfies with fans. That was cool. Yeah, it really was, dude. That means he's really loved in Philadelphia. You don't see players do that shit. Like, if somebody is really loved by the fans, like, that's some fucking respect. And those fucking racist assholes that sent him all those messages after the game was over with, like, what a bunch of piece of shit fans. What a bunch of piece of shit Vikings fans. If you guys didn't know, the Vikings had to put out a statement because Rodgers got, like, death threats and he got, like, a bunch of fucking racist comments for giving up those big plays to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Like, it was absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, You think like everyone shits on Philadelphia. Everyone shits on the Philadelphia fan base for shit. But let me tell you, they'll never do shit like that. You know what I mean? The worst that the Eagles will say, the worst that Eagle fans will say towards a player that used to play here is like he fucking like he sucks or he's a bum or something like that. But to say racial comments like that from your own fan base, I mean that's ridiculous. I mean we've seen players play badly. You don't see players, you don't see people, Eagle fans hitting up Keely Ringo on social media and calling him a bum or. You know what I mean? Or at least like disgracing him the way like those Viking fans were literally disgracing one of their own. I hope he comes back. I know he's on a 2-year deal, but I hope he comes back next year. I hope he has an option out of his contract and he gets out of fucking Minnesota if it's a disgusting season for them this year because that's not right. He deserves to go somewhere where he deserves to be criticized, but you gotta criticize somebody in a tough love type of way. Can't be pulling that shit. You know what I mean? Can't be pulling any of that shit. So he said, by Green Bay, I should be a go, but who knows, man? It could be this week. You just never know. I think he's just put him in the practice him this week. Put him in the game, pin his ears back, and let him fucking roll. Just pin his ears back and let him rush. There's no technicalities. Like, yeah, he's got to learn more of the defense. He's missed the entire season. He hasn't been here. I get it. But why is this fucking chat thing fucking crashing over and over and over and over? Let me do this again for the millionth time. Hold on. My overlay chat keeps crashing for some fucking reason. I don't know why. B says, as best we probably say, you suck, you need to be traded or bet. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's as far as we go. Like racial comments and shit like that. Like I have no time for shit like that. Like obviously this chat, like this space, especially for my channel, especially, it's freedom of speech. Like anybody can say what they want. And we can hate a player or discuss a player or anything like that. You start attacking guys personally and saying shit like that, you're fucking out of here, bro. You're out of here. Miles, any word on Cam's knee injury? Because Toth cannot be at center. You barely play guard. I think he'll be better at center. I think he's more of a liability at guard, to be honest with you. I thought he settled in pretty nicely in that second half with Jalen Hurts by playing under center, which we wanted this team to go under center, do some play action, do some things like that, which resulted in some big plays for the Eagles on Sunday. So I'm okay with Toth playing center, but what about that Willie Lampkin kid? Remember Willie Lampkin when the Eagles got him off of waivers of an injury with the Rams? And he's got a lot of experience at center. They haven't really done much with him. And the other kid that they ended up getting, what's his name? The draft pick, what was it? Drew Kendall that was drafted? I had to look up his name quick. Drew Kendall, is another one, and he was the backup center for the offseason program. So they like Toth. They like Toth because of the experience. I don't want to move Dickerson to center. I think Toth will play worse. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. We have to make a decision here. Toth playing at center is going to affect the run game. I don't think it's going to help the run game, but I think from a passing standpoint, it will be significantly better. Putting him at guard, look what the Giants did on Thursday night against the Eagles when Toth was at left guard. They ran stunts against him. Now, I don't know if he's hurt, but we did see news that Brian Burns, the edge rusher, the leading sack artist for the Giants, was in a walking boot. So I don't know if Brian Burns is going to be out this week. Obviously, the Giants losing Brian Burns is going to be big for them. They still have Abdul Carter, they still have Kayvon Thibodeau. But their leading sack artist is going to be out this week. I'm not really sure. So Amrui says I trust Stout. Yeah, you just got to trust him. Where he, we had worse situations than this. I forgot what year. What's the year with Jeff? The year with Jeff Stout, where I think we had we changed the offensive line like 20 times, 22 times during the year, and they still looked pretty good. Like didn't look bad, Like, remember when KC was in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay with Tom Brady? Remember they lost like their left tackle or their guard, and literally they fell apart after that in that Super Bowl? Like, they lost one guy, and because they probably have offensive linemen that don't play multiple positions or have, that's what I like about Stout's Rue, because if you're not a starter on this team, as a backup, you need to know, as a backup, you need multiple positions because you never know when you're going to need a guy like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got 154 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the stream, guys. I mean, this is an early stream. I forgot all about that. I didn't know that Graham. I thought Graham was going to have somewhat of a press conference with the Eagles, but it wasn't. It was on his podcast today. So, I decided to do a stream and and kind of talk about it a little bit. I'm gonna rewatch the stream a little bit. I'm gonna rewatch the Brandon Graham unblocked. I'm gonna kind of watch that, and after the stream's over, and I'm gonna probably get something to eat soon because I'm fucking starving. I need some coffee. I need like an iced coffee or something. I've been dying for iced coffee like all fucking morning. I've been up since like 6 o'clock, I think, which is very rare. But Greg says, is Ringo and Jackson the only cornerback they have? Because it seems like there are options they have, and I think they could beat Green Bay. Detroit might be more of a challenge. They don't have any more options. They have no options at outside corner. And DeJean is not moving the CB2 because they need him on the inside. I think they move Cooper DeJean to the outside because of situational ball. Like when there's certain situations where the Eagles need to cover somebody specifically, they kind of pull the trigger on that. But yeah, that's all they have. That's it. I don't even know if Eli Ricks is on the practice squad. I can't even fucking tell because he's released, he's signed, he's released, he's signed on the practice squad over and over again. I don't even know if he's still on the fucking team. But they don't have anybody. Well, so the issue with signing BG has nothing to do with BG. Does the defense lack leadership? Or our draftees that terrible in the defense, complacent? How rough is the defensive end market? Is it like everything but BG? Like it's everything but BG? I don't think it's lacking leadership. I think it's lacking I just think it's lacking a vet. I think they've wanted a vet at the edge rushing position. I don't think there's like a leadership problem. I think there's a problem with a position in CB2, and there's just a problem where they're just not getting much of a production push at edge rusher. I mean, I think that's really it. Honestly, I think that's it. Like, what Nolan Smith and fucking J.L.X. Hunt did at the end of last year with having vets like Josh Sweat on the edge and Brandon Graham was big. But coming into this year, I had high hopes for both of those guys, and Nolan Smith hasn't done shit. And even coming back, like, I'm not giving Nolan Smith a big contract. I mean, yeah, you want to sign a Trey Hendrickson. Like, Trey Hendrickson might be off the table now since Joe Flacco is playing good now, since last Thursday night played really well. You're not paying a fucking edge rusher $30 plus, $40 plus million. Nolan Smith doesn't look like he's getting paid unless he comes back and gets like 8 to 10 sacks, which I don't think that's going to happen. And J.L.X. Hunt, like, besides dropping a pick versus the Giants, and then he got a pick 6 and almost had maybe a sack. He was close a couple times, but it's just not enough for me. It's been very underwhelming with both of those guys. And that kind of sucks, to be honest. So you're looking to get like a mid-tier type guy? I don't know. What did the Vikings say about Rodgers? They were messaging him on DMs on X saying racial slurs and shit. It's all, just search online. You can find that he actually saved the pictures and everything. Everything's released online. You can look at it. It's pretty horrible, honestly. As soon as I said the chat crashed, then after 2 minutes, got it back for the whole app crash. Shove in some more ads. Why don't you? Huh? Oh, YouTube? Yeah, I don't know. I usually have the ads running on live streams at a medium balanced pace. I don't do like because there's like 3 different. There's like aggressive and there's balance. I do like a balance ad thing, so I don't know. Kind of does that, It kind of does that. For some reason, it just does that, Rakib said we need Ja'Cory Bennett back. He's better than both Ringo and Adoree. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to start. I don't think they're going to ever put him in a game anymore. I think it's over for Ja'Cory Bennett. I think it's over. You had your chance. Like, earlier in the season, because everything was so, like, up in the air and your cornerback spot, your CB2 spot was bad, throw him in there for a game. But now it's like you're starting to get to the games where, like, you really got to win. I don't think they have time to experiment that shit anymore. They don't have time to experiment that shit anymore. I don't. I don't think so. And he says, Bennett, no guarantee. I agree. Start him now as soon as you can, but it's a Hail Mary, too. Yeah, it is. Because I don't know what he's going to do, to be honest. I think that time has passed. Like, I think you got to trade for somebody. So this isn't football related, but did you watch the movie Him? I didn't watch it. I really don't like, honestly, dude. Like, I'm kind of tired of Jordan. I don't like Jordan Peele because of I don't really like Jordan Peele as a I don't really like Jordan Peele as a director at all. Like, I don't like some of his movies. Like, I think cinematically they're awesome, but I'm not really a big Jordan Peele fan. I mean, Candyman was a good film, and it's one of my favorite franchise. Candyman's one of my favorite franchises. I don't think he did justice to it too much. I'm starting to like the movie a lot more, but it's not one of my favorites. I'm not really a big Jordan Peele guy, to be honest. That's just me. Goes, how's it over? I'd say it's more open now than ever, especially with Adoree now hurt. Because you really have to win Sunday, and you're not making a trade Sunday. You're going to have to deal with Adoree and Ringo on Sunday. Unfortunately, they're not making a trade this week. So, after the bye week, they can't experiment anymore. Like, you got to play Green Bay and fucking Detroit on back-to-back prime time. They really can't. They have no time to experiment. Like, I'm hoping a trade is done before the trade has to be done before the bye week. November 4th is the trade deadline. That Tuesday at 4:00 or whatever time it is that afternoon, they got to make something happen. I don't think you could sit there and be like, let's just try Ja'Cory and we should be all right. Skip on the trade deadline, not make a trade. I don't think that's going to work out. You're saying, what's going on, buddy? He says, BG back, voice for the Eagles, high them up. Cubs in a good pick. They really need a CB. They really do. They really do, buddy. Anyways, I love the fact that BG is back, but I still think we still need one more edge. Yes, 100% they need another edge rusher. Not enough. They need another edge rusher, and they need like a mid-tier. They need like a mid-tier corner at CB2. That's where I'm at. He can't be any worse than Ringo or Jackson. Who, Ja'Cory Bennett? No, probably not. I've had my pom-poms up in the fucking air rooting for Ja'Cory Bennett to at least be in a fucking entire game, but they haven't done it. I've been celebrating I've been rooting for that move to happen, but it hasn't. Obviously he's on IR. He should be back soon. You know? Dustin says Brandon Graham is washed. No. How dare you say that? What are you expecting of Brandon Graham this year? What is washed? Like, what is that? You don't think he'll help? Of course he'll help. Do I think he's going to have an 8 to 10 sack season? If you're thinking that's going to happen, it's not going to happen. And shit, if it does, great. But I'm not expecting that. At least against the run, he's good. He's good against the run. And he'll do whatever he can. And he's been working out. Washed. Come on now. He'll do more than anybody else on this fucking edge rushing position. He'll do a lot more than anybody else around here. Hell yeah, bro. Hell fucking yeah. Yo, Mark, what's going on, buddy? He says, hey, Joey, if they keep the snap count to 30% or even 25%, I believe that he could contribute, but you're absolutely correct that we need another edge. Let's hope. We do. We need somebody at like 27 to 30 years old. We need somebody like in their prime, want to get a Super Bowl, throw them in there. And it's not going to be an immediate impact. Like if you think it's Crosby, it's not going to happen. Like it's not. I just don't think they're even. I got to be realistic with it. King says I could see BG getting 3 to 5 sacks, but the biggest attribute to his ability is to set the edge in the run game. Yes, which is needed. Which is needed because we have fucking sucked containing that edge. At least if you're gonna pass rush, you got to pass rush in the smart way, and they can't contain the edge. Whether it's a running back to the outside, an end around to the outside, a sweep to the outside. I mean, they just can't fucking defend it. You know, and then you got to put a lot on these linebackers when you can't do that. You know, and they can't miss tackles. BG is not here to be our starter. He's here to help keep things together and add depth. Yes. 100%. That is the only reason he's here. And trust me, he's signing here because he knows his team. He knows that this team is going in the right direction. It needs help. Okay. And if he's that help as a depth rotational guy, that's just gonna do just enough. Like, just do enough. You know? This just in, Dallas signed canned heat. What? I mean, they signed canned. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? As over the super chat, thanks so much. What's cornerback 2 are on the trade market? I honestly don't. I haven't heard many rumors about a lot of corn. I mean, this is going to be one of those like you didn't hear about it, but apparently it was in the works this whole time behind the scenes. It's going to be one of those behind the scenes trades that you're not going to hear about. It could be because I haven't heard anything about corner. I don't know what cornerback is available. Like actually available, like reported that this player is available. I haven't heard much. To be honest with you, I haven't really heard that much. Let me check what's going on here. Let's see. Zach Berman says, my view, bringing back Brandon Graham and Nolan Smith eventual return shouldn't keep Howie Roseman from seeking help on a trade market at edge rusher. It's still the position that can use the biggest upgrade. Agreed. So Zach Berman is thinking the fucking same thing. Yeah, remember, the Eagles lost Nolan Smith. They lost Ogbo, that 30-year-old edge rusher. They lost Ogbo. They signed Zadarius Smith. He retired. Uche hasn't done shit. Hunt hasn't done shit. He did. Hunt had his best game last week, but it's not saying too fucking much. He got us a score at least. Let's see what's going on here. If there's any other news. Yeah, there's nothing else. There's nothing else, I don't think. Yeah. Hold on. All right. Mark said, did Miami fire their head coach yet? So maybe he could talk Chubb into coming over to the Eagles. Just a thought. I know that is pretty unlikely. Well, I don't think it's unlikely at all. I think Miami is going to trade everybody. Matthew Judon could be up for a trade. I mean, that can't really cost that much. At 32, 33 years old, Matthew Judon could come to the Eagles. Bradley Chubb is what, 29 with 4 sacks on the year and healthy, so he's a nice rotational guy as well. I mean, look, have more of a rotation, a refreshing. I mean, I'm not looking for them to get I would love them to get like a little bit above average edge rusher. I just don't know if they're up in the. I don't know if they're really up to taking over a contract, or I just don't see it happening. Like, I see them signing an edge rusher, but to what extent of how good the player is, I can't see it's anything more than a mid-tier type player that maybe another good rotational guy. Hunt had his best game, but not as an edge rusher. No, definitely not. I just got a weird feeling the Chiefs might poach Olave or Kamara from the Saints for nothing. Yeah, there's rumors because Malik Neighbors is out, so they might trade for. There's been rumors that they might trade for a wide receiver. There's rumors of, but nothing's happened yet. Well, I just looked up defensive end on the trade market. They're saying Jalen Phillips could go for a 26 conditional fourth, and Trey Hendrickson can go for a conditional 26 second. I'd give a conditional third, fourth. Yeah. I don't think Trey Hendrickson's. I don't think they're dealing him at all. I don't think that's happening anymore. I wish, but I don't think so. The thing is, the Trey Hendrickson thing, I think, is more realistic only because, like, half of his salary is already paid for the year, and there's probably not a lot to take over, and he's got no money going into next year. But the problem is that Trey's probably going to be looking for a big contract. But with this injury now, he's missed he's missed a week already. I don't know if he's missing another week, another game. So, I mean, I think Trey would be more realistic, but do the Eagles have any interest signing a 30-year-old edge rusher? It's not much, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I would say Bradley Chubb at 29 is more realistic just because he's not going to cost that much and he ain't no, like, top fucking player in the league, but you can get away with maybe trading that without getting rid of big compensation. I just don't see the Eagles trading a first, second round pick for a fucking player, whether it's corner or whether it's fucking edge rusher. I just don't see it happening. 29-32. What's the difference? We pass fresh case by case. It'll only be a year. Yeah, but do you want to give up a big? Like I said, are the Eagles ready to give up big draft compensation? Doesn't matter at the age, but it just doesn't matter on how much they give up. Like, are they going to give up that much for a player right now? I don't know. Arthur said we need Ward and Chubb, and we repeat. I promise you, that'd be great. If they signed Denzel Ward and Bradley Chubb, I'd be perfectly happy with that. I wouldn't have an issue with that. Yeah, Woolen would be another one. Kind of revive himself as a player in Philadelphia. Kind of revive himself again, his career. It's not a bad move. It's not a horrible move. Can he still play? Can he be better than what we have? That's really the question, because he's been a backup to, obviously, the starting corner in Josh Jobe that used to be in Philadelphia. Now with the Seattle Seahawks. So since Robert says, and let's go with Trey Hendricks. Yeah, I mean, hey, Trey Henderson would be nice, but unfortunately, like, I don't know if Flacco's win on Thursday night, like, the Bengals are changing their mind. I mean, obviously, like, Trey was sorely missing that game against the Steelers, and not having him for that game. Rob said, if Graham is healthy, we will be good at edge for this year. Graham didn't really want to retire in the first place. Yeah, that's what was said. That I guess he was convinced to retire, that he really didn't want to retire, and Howie Roseman, I guess, kept the phone line open for him. So Graham's agent, like, called the Eagles, and Howie has been welcoming to Graham coming back since the first game of the year. Since the first game. You lost Josh Sweat in the offseason. There's no veteran presence on that edge, and I think Nolan Smith has been affected by that. I think Jalix Hunt has been affected by that. Arthur says we have 12. Yeah, we have 12 picks. I mean, we have 12 picks, but like I'm saying, if your offense is not going to get back on course, like giving up a high pick is like, I want to make sure they're not wasting a trade. Like I'm not, like, look, I'm just being extra careful because I don't want them to waste draft capital if it's going to be a waste of time. If this offense is going to look like shit the rest of the year, they're not going to at least get to being somewhat consistent. This trade is going to be a fucking waste, especially if it's for high draft compensation. That's just me. You know what I mean? That's where I'm kind of at with it. So, other than that, I mean, I think that's it. I mean, I'll have a video tomorrow on pretty much everything that's been going on. Kind of want to do a stream and kind of just talk about everything when Graham was doing his press conference. I'm actually going to watch his podcast after this and go get something to eat because I'm fucking starving right now. Yeah, and we'll see what happens, bro. We have until November 4th to get something done, and we're hoping we get something done. I mean, that's really it. CB2, like, you cannot fucking keep it the way you cannot keep that position the way it is, bro. The biggest needs for next year is going to be edge rusher, it's going to be CB2, and theoretically it's going to be tackle, it's going to be fucking tight end, there's going to be a lot of needs next year. It's going to be a lot of fucking needs next year. A lot. And the Eagles have to capitalize on some of this shit. But we're in season right now. We're trying to win another trophy. But they gotta do their thing. You know? Marcia DeJean knocked the ball out of his hands, otherwise touchdown, and worse, a momentum shifter. Yeah. That's a big play from DeJean. Thank God you have him. Thank God, like, they can move DeJean to CB2 if they really need him to. Thank God they could do that. DeJean, when DeJean is due a contract, you pay him whatever he wants. The value is just off the fucking charts for a lot of years. He will be so valuable. But it'll be even better if they get someone at CB2 that's way better. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But yeah, other than that, guys, there's 165 people in the chat. I want to thank everybody for joining this stream today. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe. Cover the Eagles every single day. And I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna go get some food. I need some breakfast. I need something. I need a startup for the day. Maybe a big ass iced coffee or a chocolate milk or something like that. I need something. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be back with one tomorrow. And we will have probably another stream this week sometime before the weekend. New York Giants this week. And yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shake Squad up.